So here we are at the show. The show is fully booked and it's 9:10. So I'll just give you an overview of the queue at the show. We've got about 250 at the moment, I would say, and that's building. So we'd anticipate another 20 minutes, maybe 300 people in the queue to come in at 9:30. So we'll just have an overview of the queue in the car park. So as you can see, we've got a queue down there forming. It's kind of wrapped around the centre quite well. So we are anticipating a very busy day. We might have to limit the numbers for the first half an hour due to the spike in attendance. But yeah, at the moment it's looking really good. So we're hoping for a really busy day today. It's a bit of car management going on, including our van. Apparently it's not in the right area. So the queuing round the right-hand side of the building also. So I'll take you around there now. So it's all around here as well, as you can see. So now what we'll do, I think we'll go back into the hall. We'll have a 5-minute overview of what's going on in the hall. Right, so in we go. This is the hall that we've got. A little bit of catering in the corner, as you can see. We'll go around the outside of the hall and have a quick look round before the show starts. This is the bring and buy. So this is Paul Broader's pitch. He runs the bring and buy, so you can bring stuff, charge you 10% to sell it. If you don't want to pitch, lots of stuff there. Look, got lots of stuff in his bring and buy store. And we continue round his Magic Geek. He's got all like playing cards, that sort of thing, gaming kind of orientated stuff. Nicely presented as always. Nice to see you. We'll carry on around the outside. Some more Warhammer, lots of army starter stuff, plenty of stuff in kits. John's store has a lot of Warhammer 40k, plastic kits, a lot of Lord of the Rings, that type of thing. And then we come to Vintage RU, so we've got the entire back wall, rummage boxes, plastic kits, so all sorts of Warhammers. You've seen the videos, things under the table. We're absolutely rammed of stock as we go along. Nice painted models. Another one of our pitches behind us. We've got 2 pitches behind, which Tom's on. We've got paint, bag kits, books at $5 each. You've all seen them on the videos. Lots of cases on the end. And as we go round, we've got box stuff, games in the box, loads painted. That's the hall. 15 minutes before opening. Yeah, so just a few people around at the minute, but 300 people outside. So we're anticipating 500 to 600 maybe today, that kind of sort of range. It's not a local event now. It's probably a regional event, I would say, rather than a local event. More Warhammer stuff for sale, look, all nicely painted stock. Thank you everybody who came to the Wargames show yesterday. Thanks to all our followers that came to the show. It was a raging success as normal, and without you obviously it wouldn't be the same. So yeah, thanks to everybody who came to that one. Our next show will be at Sheldon on the 4th of July. Again, we'll have piles and piles of stock for there, just as we did on Sunday. So today we're doing a collection the day after the show, so it's a bit taxing. I'm a bit tired having done the show yesterday with all the staff, but we're off to Lancashire today to pick up a Wargames collection. This collection consists of mainly Space Marines, I guess. 40k, Heresy, Space Wolves in there, Salamander, Chaos Space Marines, there's a lot of Death Guard, a lot of other different chapters, probably 10, 12 Space Marine chapters, mostly infantry based armies. There's a lot of other stuff as well. There's some AOS in there. The chap's got quite a lot of historical stuff. I think he's keeping hold of the well-painted stuff. A lot of the stuff's quite contemporary, you know, up-to-date kind of Warhammer 40k stuff, but there is some older stuff amongst it. So here we have the collection that we've picked up, all sorts, but there is a lot of Space Marines. Probably not that obvious from the way we've packed it in, but there is an awful lot. There's hundreds and hundreds of Space Marines, probably 1,500 or 2,000 or so, I would say, nicely painted Marines in some of these boxes, which we've kind of layered in bubble wrap. What we'll do is just move a few boxes about and try and see some of what we've got. So there's a bit of 40k scenery in that box there, and some odd box bits and pieces. First box I open, there you go, look. So here we have Space Wolves, quite a simple but very effective paint job, so they're nice, yeah. Very good. If you pan over those, Michael, you can see there's quite a lot there. So what we had to do was pack them in layers. So underneath this layer, the bubble wrap, there'll be some more Space Marines of another chapter. So there we are, look. So they're obviously 40k Heresy. So there's a layer of those. We've got some Custodes here, look, for the Emperor and all that lot. So yeah, and that's a very nicely painted model. Contemptor Dreadnought, painted a decent gaming standard level. There is a Sisters of Battle Army in here as well. Actually, I think there's 2. Okay, under that layer, then we've got Grey Knight Army. I remember that coming off the shelves. So we've got several big boxes like this with several well-painted armies in. So these will be coming to a Wargames show in the Midlands very shortly, perhaps Sheldon or Collingwood, and maybe a few of them will find their way onto our online store. That's that box. So yeah, if I can just get that one out of the way, then we might be able to have a little look at 1 or 2 other bits and pieces that are amongst the collection. So a lot of these boxes, I don't know what the contents is because I've not actually opened them when we collected them. So that's a fairly recent release, War of the Rohirrim, Battle of Edra. interest. Now, there's not a lot in that box, as you can see, but I can guarantee you the rest of the figures are here somewhere, but obviously not in the box, so they'll probably already been painted. As I know, there's a box of Lord of the Rings. I can already see the box of Lord of the Rings. Okay, so we've got loads of Lord of the Rings in stock, but now we're going to have some more, aren't we? So some more gaming standard Lord of the Rings, Uruk-hai, and so there's a box of those. A bit of scenery in the back there as well. I think there's loads of Lord of the Rings. I think it's just the one box, but yeah, there's certainly some. Okay, so Adaptus Mechanicus. Some nice models there. Don't know which model that is. Obviously not a GW, whatever toy that is. 30k model. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's from Forge World, that one. And actually, quite a lot of the ones in the top of this level are actually Forge World models and very well painted. Now, these look like they're 30k Space Wars, maybe. Bad eyesight, yeah, they are Space Wars. So, yeah, there's quite a nicely painted Dreadnought. Got that one, Mike? Praetor or something like that. I would say that's probably Forge World. Feels like resin. That'll be a Forge World model. Quite expensive to buy these days. So there are several boxes like that. Like I say, probably 1,500, 2,000 Space Marines perhaps. There's another box over here. That one's actually got other fantasy stuff in, that particular box. I can see, if you can squeeze in there, Michael, there's some Star Trek Attack Wing. I've no idea about that, so that'll be something that we'd have to look into at some point. And there is quite a bit of Star Trek stuff. Star Trek Wargaming stuff in there. There's a Combat Patrol. There's a few Combat Patrol magazines. Dare I put a foot any further into the van without treading on something? We don't want to kill the models, do we? But let's just see if I can get a little bit further in. So, does anybody recall Starship Troopers? All the way from Clondalkin. So this bug you'd have to watch, because if anyone's watched the film, he's quite bloodthirsty, to be honest. Made in the style of an American 1950s B film about 20 or so years ago. I will admit I went to the cinema with my then girlfriend 30 years ago to watch that particular film, and I'd have to say you shouldn't enjoy it, but it's just good. So if you want to watch that Starship Troopers sci-fi thing, watch it tongue-in-cheek. It is quite a good watch. I mean, the acting is terrible, I would say, but it's just fun. It's just a couple of hours of gory fun. I don't know if that's Starship Troopers, to be honest, but certainly these ones are. And certainly there is some more Starship Troopers amongst the collection. Just watch, they don't bite your fingers. There is some historical. This tank's actually metal, tell by the weight, and it's cold, so always a good giveaway. If you put your hands on something, if it's cold, it's generally metal when it's painted. Because if it's resin, it will be heavy, but it'll be warm. But metal's always cold, so that's a metal tank. And there is some metal stuff in here, Second World War stuff. It's obviously buried at the moment. There's another one. This one is plastic resin. The ones I've seen, there's quite a few tank stuff. The ones I've seen are, again, painted quite a nice level, you know. It's pretty good. Put it on a tabletop and say, yeah, that's good. Some planes in there, look. Some Warcry, if you want to get your camera into there. There's a lot of Games Workshop box stuff. Can't really see it now, but I know there is. So, Warcry box set, some Romans. Horus Heresy box set, look, under that. And there's another box set underneath that. I know there's several kill teams. Songs of Fire and Ice over the back there. Obviously not GW. Very popular when you're watching that on Amazon or wherever it's on. When we were loading it, we run out of boxes because the day after the show we didn't have any boxes left. So normally we try to transport things in boxes, not loose, because it's hard work to move stuff loose. So normally we try and put them all in big boxes, move them all at the same time. I can see some more Warhammer here, but obviously I'm pulling out modern games. There's a lot of contents in here I can feel by the weight, so they're probably full games. The Flames of War, that is always popular, that kind of manufacturer. They are always a good seller. And underneath we've got Kill Team box set, and there's 3 or 4 box sets underneath that. I can see another Kill Team one at the back. I see a Horus Heresy box set, and there are quite a few 40k standard kind of Space Marine box sets which not got round to painting, but actually can't see them. So they've got that, some Doctor Who, Adaptus Titanicus, Horus Heresy. So yeah, so we'll have a look in here. It seems heavy enough to have the contents in rather than just be boxed. That's been painted by the looks of it. Customers telling me that a lot of the box sets are complete, but the contents have been painted and are actually painted still in the box with all the rule books. So that'll be interesting to sort through there. I can see a box of, yes, you've guessed it, the ones I don't like. We all know I'm not keen on Stormcast Eternals. It's a personal thing, because I find on the second-hand market, Stormcast Eternals don't sell very well. There's an awful lot of them on the second-hand market due to Games Workshop, produced magazines, Immortal Realms, Stormbringer, and there was a lot of models sold that way. So therefore, there's a lot on the second-hand market, and they don't fetch particularly good price. I mean, they're lovely painted models, but I'm never too keen on getting them because we don't make any money on them, basically. Look in this corner, Romans or Greeks, historical figures in there, some painted, some not. So you can see some hoplites and whatnot. And just looking across, Michael, into that box at the back there, there's some Battletech games and then 30k stuff for Legion Imperialis, Rhino Transport Detachment. So there is some epic scale models in this collection as well. It's about a wrap, really. Won't get any more involved, otherwise I'll only tread on breaking the models. So all of this we will get processed over the next couple of months, along with lots of other stuff ready for the up-and-coming summer Wargames shows. So catch you later, guys. So if you want to attend any of the shows that we kind of go to or that we co-organise, then do drop us a line on any of our social media channels, so whether that's Facebook, TikTok, YouTube or Instagram, and do so, and we can have a chat and we'll discuss any details. We'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours, and anything you want to know, we can tell you any of the details. Another summer show we've got coming up, so after the one we're doing at Birmingham at Sheldon, we've got one at the Collingwood Centre. We've got that one coming up on the 15th of August. So if anybody's interested in a stall, for instance, if you're a trader and you're interested in selling at a show that gets hundreds and hundreds of visitors, you've got a really good chance of taking good money. Though we do have availability for that one, so you can either get in touch with Paul Broadhurst, Wargames Show. He runs the show and we kind of co-organise it with him and help with the promotions, etc. Or you can get in touch directly with ourselves and we can then ask Paul the details to book you into that show. It is a bigger show than the Sheldon show. We're not sure at the moment whether we'll be using just the one hall or whether actually we'll expand into the second hall, which could be available to us. So yeah, if you're interested in that, there'll certainly be a good crowd. We'll certainly pump out the advertising for it, and you'll see all the videos 2 or 3 weeks before. It's £10 or 6 foot, and thereafter if you want to, it's obviously 20 or whatever. So yeah, give us a shout.